Good afternoon, Scott Rella, T3 Live. It is 5 to 3. It is not after the close. Price might change by the time you're watching this, but I want to do one last recap before I go away. I will be gone for about 7 days, going overseas. I will be trading, probably the first hour or two remotely, and I will be checking into the VTF and also contributing to the morning note with the editor-in-chief, John Darcy. So I will be, in here and there, but expect a less out of me on the Twitter sphere and here. So with that said, just wanted to talk a little bit about the first, or what is this, the second day of the, first day of the quarter. At this point we've had a few day rally where they might have marked a few things up going into the end of the quarter, and today some new flows came in, and you saw some decent action. The beaten down tech stocks, some of them bounced and are trying to hold above like some lower pivots, but still, there's not that much trust there, and there are some things that are just moving around, and let's just get to it so I can run through. Here's a chart of the SPX. We are now above this downtrend. Last time we were here, we failed. If you look now, it's 253. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to be where we close, but here we are. That was the low when we held the 1840 zone, and then we got above the moving averages, and now here we are at the upper end of the range. So with that said, I'm not sure if we close in the highs of the day, but we're right here, and you have another, what's tomorrow, Wednesday, a few days before the jobs number. I would say as long as the market continues to now base above 1875, hard to be super bearish. If we were to go negative, close below 1875 today, maybe some people will reduce some risk. But again, this is also day 4 in the indices, so the indices are probably not the place to buy. It could be some stocks. So we talked about the bios. Bios yesterday, gave you your first green day, and then today it broke and gave you a trade into resistance, but looks like it's been trading off it now. For this to get constructive, it's got to really do some work above this, and then maybe next time have a little bit of juice to break out. As of right now, if you took it home long because you sold up here or because you sold when this intermediate trend broke, you got your day and a half move, and I think people are getting rewarded for taking day and a half moves, and we'll see what happens and what develops there. As far as the Qs bounced up pretty hard this morning. Talked about would they retest and how would it treat this neckline here. Well, it's almost there. I think tomorrow will be more of a day where you have to figure out what's happening here. So far, a decent bounce. This was that head and shoulders top, which gave you some clues weakness was coming, and then boom. So if you bought in the hole and you want to take some off here, okay. If you were looking to short a bounce, see what happens in here. If it reclaims it, I've seen this happen before, where look what happened here. Came in, you had your red dog reversal and didn't stop and made new highs. So just be careful. Watch the action. As far as what did Russell do today, Russell, decent bounce back also. Here is, I guess, this is where it sort of broke down from, one level here besides this upper wedge. So it's right back in there. So here is the reflex move, and now you got to see if it sticks. XLF. Pretty lethargic move back up. It's still okay, not leading the market, but not lagging right now. Looks like it's in stride. And then let's go to some stocks. Okay, first things first. Some of the beaten down names that gave you early morning action that's sticking a little bit better. Some are looking at Netflix. Netflix has this descending channel here. So today for an intraday trade, you might have a green bar. Now, just like the bios, it'll be interesting to see if you can get another day. Another day would be a break above 366, okay, and obviously that's a long way away, or maybe use today's high of 362, but maybe it pushes through, and then you have to see does a push through and fail, does a push through extend and then come back in, or does it push through and hold? If you want to use the bios as an example, bios had strong close and then you had some follow through, but if you bought wrong today, you were a little bit hurt, so you still have to be careful here with something like Netflix. Look at Facebook. Facebook, is in the process of breaking above this lower pivot that we talked about. Here is that red dog reversal. So if you bought on the red dog reversal, use this as a stop. You're still in there, and you have a decent potential swing trade work. And I think next spot will be, this 63, especially if it closes above 62 today. We shall see. Tesla's trying today. Hopefully you get a decent close. If you sold here or you sold when it broke here, it looks like your first green day, perhaps, you could take a small home, and if it were to get above 216.75 tomorrow, you could get a trade to retest this 222 and maybe even up to this area. So we shall see. As of right now, first green potential day in Tesla in a long time. Let's see if you get a day and a half. If it were to close much below 214 to 213, I'm sure there'd be a bit of frustration there, including me, because you'll see on my VTF, I am long some Tesla. So we'll see. Solar City, another scenario where actually this is starting to break above, where you have a lower pivot. Here was your red dog reversal. Now it's trying to get a little bit stronger. If this were to go from here, you could see a retrace to here or maybe even here. This is another thing that I'm long on my virtual trade floor. Just so you know, every day when you read my morning note, if you're part of Redler All Access, you will see my disclosures at the bottom. You'll see what I'm long, what I'm short, and then besides the strategies. So you know the strategies I have out there. I don't trade every strategy that I put in the morning note, but I trade a few of them, and then you could see what I'm long or short. But the real place to be is on the VTF, because you get to see when I put them on real time, take them off real time, listen to me on the radio, and connect all the dots. If you're trying to just piece it together by being on Twitter or here or there or watching the Morning Call Express or the recap, it's hard to get the full picture. So if you trade all day long every single day, I would say the VTF is probably a good spot for you, considering there's over 300-400 people that are talking all day long in the VTF that have a lot of eyeballs on the market, and they've been very helpful. So when I am trading remotely overseas, it's going to be a tool that I use that's going to help me not feel disconnected. Anyway, moving forward, Plug woke up today. That's something that I bought a little earlier today. Looks like it's getting a little attention. It's above this area. It's a higher low. I'd say if it closes above 740, maybe you get to move back up to here. Still trying to work off this negative bar right there. It's coming in as we speak. We shall see. I'm not even going to look at the other ones. I'm going to just, it's not enough action in Plug by itself, but the other ones are perking up a little bit too. Who knows? Maybe it's just a day trade. Maybe you get a trade, and then some. Let's see what else. Google broke above. This is something you have to be a little careful of. It tried to break above this area, which was 1135. Went to, what was the high today? 1137, and then came below it. So here's the way you play that. If you were long it and you were looking for another trade or some follow through above the prior day's high, and once it went back below it, you had to get out of the way, okay? Because they used that as a squeezing point, but there wasn't enough power to hold it there. I think it's splitting soon, so I don't know exactly what people want to do. But anyway, here is your first green day. It's still within, or an inside day within this lower flag. So, the jury's still out there. The jury's still out on all of it. This is just us trying to see if we can make day trading money and see if you could stick a little bit longer. Some guys were looking at this FEYE, which has been a disaster. First potential green day. It's come down a lot. Trade at your own, discretion. We'll see what happens there. And that's really it. Microsoft, actually, real quickly, people saw it leave my VTF. What a stock, what a trade. And hopefully some of you put it in the drawer, from the rather note. Great breakout right here. Nice little follow through there. I think I got long here, added there, and now I'm out of it. So another nice little day trade. I wish, Microsoft's trading like the high beta names used to trade when they were in play. Anyway, let's, Apple, what's that doing? Apple actually is perking up. Look at that, I don't think it's a barn burning trade. I am in some. I just put it on, so I paid up a little bit. I'm going to take it along with me while I go on my trip and, see what happens next. I will probably put a stop in right around this 535 and see if, something happens here that's a little exciting. I guess a trade above 541-ish. No one's really looking at it. Maybe it gets back to 551, which is that double top. So far, so good. It's actually a little strength today. We'll see if it continues. New quarter, who knows? So with that said, I got to get out of here early. It's a new quarter. Some guys did well last quarter, some didn't. Put that behind you. It's a new month. New month means, everyone's back at zero. So if you had a great month last month, you know what? It's year zero. If you had a bad month last month, you're at zero, and just put it together, and just try and make it happen. Being frustrated, revenge trading and just, I don't know, making excuses is not going to get you anywhere. Putting a plan together, taking a step back, getting green a few days, and then feeling good and getting more green, that's what'll get you back on track. So I will miss you. John and Brittany will be manning the hell, maybe even get a guest visit from Evan or Sperling, and I'll be, keeping up, we'll keep in touch little by little. And I just wish everyone the best. Be safe, have some fun, and I will be back on this camera hopefully by next Thursday.